One of the things we really taught in this church, and you know this, is that you have to be a giver, and to be a generous person is how God grows your own life. And the more you give away, the more it comes back. It's called sowing and reaping, right? And it's a principle all the way through the scripture. And churches teach it to their people. But a funny thing is, they don't all practice it themselves as churches. And so we decided from the get-go, from day one, that we were going to practice what we preached as a church, and we were going to give away funds. So we had just begun. We were only about 6 months into the journey. We had about $1,500 in the bank. There was a church that we were quite close to, and they went into a building project. They were moving from a rented facility like we were to building their own facility. They were short of money. And I talked to the directors. I said, what do you say we empty our bank account and give them the whole amount? And so that's what we did. $1,500 doesn't sound like a lot of money today to you. I know that. It was all the money we had. It meant I might not get paid that next week. You get this. And we gave away $1,500. And you know what? We felt so good about that, because what happened was people just became more generous when we did stuff like that. And then we started giving $1,500 to every church that asked us when they were in a building project. And then we started giving $5,000 away. And then we started giving $25,000 away. And then we gave away $35,000 to a church plant one day. And recently, I don't know how many of you know this, my good friend Ron McLean, their church Gateway, is building a new building in West St. Paul in a school. And did you know you gave them $50,000? What do you think about that? And we found that as we gave, God just kept on bringing it back. And you get that principle, right? It's sowing and reaping. He says, whatever you sow, that you will also reap. And we thought, we can't outgive God. We keep trying, and it just keeps on coming back. And we announced this at our annual general meeting, and so most of you haven't heard it, but you're going to love this. We just surpassed, are you ready for this? You're not going to believe it. In missions giving, over our 35-year history, we have now given over $20 million to missions. I am so proud of that. I know you're not supposed to be proud. Am I allowed to be proud about that? I think you can be proud when you're giving to somebody else and doing something else. I'm going to just tell you one quick story about that. Was that you know our annual pie auction we do for the 1040 window, and we do this auction. We raise oftentimes hundreds of thousands of dollars. And we had kind of a decision to make, because for the last probably 15 years, our building roof has been leaking. And some of you know that. You walk around the building and there's dripping going on. There's garbage cans. We have a lot of garbage cans. They're not for garbage. They were for water. And it would always be dripping all over the building. And we have 4 acres of roof. 4 acres of roof to re-roof is a $2 million project. And so we thought we could go into a fundraiser and raise money for our roof, and then we would have a new roof. Or we could just keep on raising money for missions and let God take care of the stupid roof. And so that's what we did. So we were having, this is about 4 years ago, we were having a pie auction in here. And the spring time is when we have the pie auction where we're raising money for missions. And it's when the water starts to melt on the roof, the ice starts to melt. And it was leaking over there. We had about 60 chairs moved out of the way. There was 30 buckets, and it wasn't dripping. It was raining in the room. And we went on with the pie auction. It's raining. People were standing clear and sitting clear so they didn't get wet. We did our pie auction. We raised about $250,000 that day. And the whole time, I never even mentioned the fact that the roof was leaking. People were so used to the roof leaking in our building that that's what they think we have for a building, which was true. And I remember a man came up to me at the end of the day, and he said, this is my first time at this church. And he says, I'm telling you, I'm going to be back. This is the church for me. And I said, why is that? He said, here you are raising $200,000 or $300,000 for the missions in the 1040 window, and your own roof is leaking, and you don't even notice. He says, that's the church for me.